Good evening, and welcome to 3 Minutes at Sunset. My name is Tony McLean Brown, and today's episode, Happy Endings. Back in the early 1990s, I wrote a children's book entitled Farmer Lloyd and Granny's Big Farm in the Mountain. The last sentence of the book reads, "And everyone lived happily ever after." All good bedtime stories end that way. Not this one. Most of us have heard and read too much about President Clinton's dalliances with his White House intern, Miss Monica Lewinsky. It was Me Too in the incipient stages of the internet and all forms of social media. A couple of nights ago, while rifling through HBO Max, we came across Miss Lewinsky's film entitled 15 Minutes of Shame. And, like many, we took the clickbait, and I anticipated an expose of America's most famous president's sex scandals, including Trump, Clinton, Kennedy. But to my surprise, I was very naive. She documents the lives of individuals who are targets of global public shaming. There are absolutely no happy endings to their life stories, and quite frankly, it's downright sad. This TV program is not about the gory details of sex or bipartisan politics. It's a complicated narrative about human beings' long-standing lust for public shaming. Long before the internet, the printing press, or even the ink pen, humans have participated in public shaming without facts, context, or an appreciation for nuance. Mob justice has been around since crucifixions, pillories, flogging, scarlet letters, and tar and feathering. It's nothing new for the human race, but now we have global trolling on an uncensored internet that is fueled by the capitalist interest of social media platforms and the 24/7 news outlets that cater to special interest. In my opinion, Houston, we got a problem. Sure, we could all be subject to getting caught up in groupthink, herd behavior, and mob justice when we think someone's done something wrong, illegal, and or outside of our value sets. Ms. Lewinsky's film highlights the global shaming of a United States veteran selling stuff out of his garage on Amazon, a lady who quipped online about COVID policy, and a Latino man who was accused of being a white supremacist. Whew. The problem is, we have got an anonymous virtual mob acting as prosecutor, judge, jury, and executor. Now, are any of these individuals in her film above reproach? No, none of us are. They are humans that got trolled and threatened by millions of people who applied punishment that did not fit the crime, in my opinion. Now, I'm down for let's hang a horse thief on the highest tree, but also he without sin cast the first stone. So, as we often do, we must ask now, what does any of this have to do with happiness, consulting, or being of service to others? Let's go to work. Consulting 101, observations, impacts, and recommendations. As consultants, or humans just trying to solve a problem, we are called to develop and present observations, impacts of what we see, and our recommendations. The findings must be supported by factual evidence. The impacts must be math that articulates the scope and scale of the finding, and the recommendations must be wrapped in critical thinking and logical thought. Consulting ain't easy, and it can't be done with impulsive left or right swipes, pushing a like button, or bullshit clickbait embedded in pithy headlines. The goal is not crowdsourcing. It's also not a zero-sum game where one side takes all. Most of the time, we, as consultants, must simply admit, at this time, we just don't know. However, with careful data collection and ongoing analysis, we should have more and better information to make decisions in the future. Now, to some, that may feel like we're avoiding the truth or being lazy, but in fact, we're simply demanding the facts to support a rigorous change management process. Now, with all that said, the science and art of consulting requires 3 important characteristics. Number 1, fact-based, data-driven analysis. It's so important to know the difference between facts and beliefs. Facts are based on rigorous science, which includes disciplined research and peer review over time. Beliefs and gut instincts are just that and have no place in the consulting process. Number 2, adjustments for bias. Bias is part of survival skills of humanity. They evolved over time for obvious reasons, but now they exist for a very complicated function which can be used and grossly unfair and even destructive. Number 3, be nice. Yep, you heard it from here first. Consulting is a profession that relies on respect and being nice. If you can't do your work in a positive manner, then go back to the drawing board. Now that doesn't mean that you should candy coat anything, but you don't have to be mean, and it even goes further than that, you should be nice. Now this might not be the happy ending you were hoping for this blog, but I'm telling you, mob justice delivered by individuals, trolls, robots through the internet is a very dangerous phenomena for an increasingly well-connected global community. Yes, we all have our own beliefs. Yes, we can find fault in others' beliefs. But piling on is so easy and unfair, the NFL has a rule against it. So the next time you think you're 100% right, maybe you are, except. And as consultants and problem solvers, we must bring the rigors of our profession to help promote civility as we coexist together in our world, in our nation, across our states, and each of our local communities. I'm Tony McLean Brown. This has been 3 Minutes at Sunset. Hope to see you soon.